It's Ohio State and Texas, looking to get to the national championship game. Coach Sark, Coach Day, and Texas trying to answer after Ohio State went right down the field and scored in the first quarter, and nothing had really gone on until this Quinn Ewers scramble ruled a first down in real time. Like, there's no way they got there. Well, they didn't. On 4th and 1, they bring in Arch Manning. He nearly fumbles. Is the ball out? No, the knee is down before the ball comes out. So Texas's drive stays alive, but barely. And what a beautiful play call and route from Jaden Blue. And Texas, the dodgeball celebration. But they're like Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill. It took all of that to get even. And in one play, Travion Henderson on a screen. And Chris Fowler had the great call. He said it could be a house call at any moment. Right before Henderson's got it and is gone. A 75-yard touchdown, the longest receiving touchdown by a running back in playoff history. And Texas, after all of that Texas fight to get even, you're down by 7. But Texas signs up for 60. They're going to stay in the fight. It's 3rd and 10. And is Ewers down? No. Just fractionally before the knee is down, he flips it to Quintravion Wisner, and you see just before the knee is down. So again, the Manning fumble, not a fumble, drive continues. The 3rd down, the drive continues. And guess who? Blue again, same route. Play the fight song. We're tied at 14, 4th quarter. 2 nights in a row, 2 dramatic college football semifinals. It's 3rd and 8. Backed up, and Will Howard finds Carnell Tate. I always say throw it to 4. He was quiet tonight. Carnell Tate, a big 3rd down gain. Then it's a 4th and 2 run for Howard. He's a big fella, and he can scoot. Buckeyes convert on the 4th down. Later in the drive, 2nd and goal from the 1. Quinshon Judkins barrels his way into the end zone, his 2nd of the night, and the Buckeyes lead by 7. Texas has got to answer, and they don't have a ton of time to do it. Ewers, beautiful play design. Stanford Steve will tell you the tight end's always open. That's Gunnar Helm. Excellent play, but that point, you got to be more subtle than that, Gunnar. If you want to give somebody the what for, they're going to throw the flag. They get him for 15. But Texas very quickly erases that and adds some more. Matthew Golden, who was out for a period of time in this game, the hero from Atlanta when they beat Arizona State. That's a gain of 27. 1st and goal from the 1, right up the middle. Jarrett Gibson, no. This is the play I just asked Herbie and Chris about. 2nd and goal, you go wide against a defense that's got a ton of speed. You see Downs gets in there, and they blow it up. It's a loss of 7. 3rd and goal. Looking for Ryan Wingo, incomplete, so it comes down to a 4th down and goal from the 8. And this is the play. Jack Sawyer, his former roommate, the sack, the ball's out, it's in his hands, he's eyeballing, anyone gonna catch him? Hell no, not tonight, son. It's your night, it's your moment forever to go down in Ohio State history. Texas fans were this close to an equalizing score, and instead, Ryan Day, go that way. He's good, coach, he's good. Will Howard, Jack Sawyer going wild. And this team, who lost on its home field to Michigan, has beaten in succession Tennessee, Oregon, and now Texas. And Ohio State's victory gives it 4 wins over AP top 5 opponents, matching the most in a season in the poll era. They joined that juggernaut LSU team from 2019, 1967, and 1943. That's USC and Notre Dame. I don't know anything about them. I'm not going to lie to you. How much I look forward to these visits, these moments. They're fresh in the air right after moments of high achievement. And you guys know what a recruiting nerd I am. I always have paid attention, Herbie, to the 5-star guys. Where are they going to go? And you go back to when Jack Sawyer came out and he looked like a Boy Scout, looked like a little kid, right? And he dreamed of wearing this uniform. And Chris, for him to be the guy with the ball in his hands, making that play, it feels poetic, and then it feels impossible given the guy that he sacks. How would you frame it all?
That's the beauty of the sport. Sometimes you watch these things unfold and you go, wait a second. Live sports is unscripted. That's the beauty of it. But it almost seems like someone's conjuring these plot lines up, layering the drama on, as you put it very well. There were so many individual stars, so many plot lines coming in, but it did come down to that goal line stand, and Sawyer making the fourth of a 4-play sequence that really preserved this victory. And yeah, it was one of the more memorable calls I've ever had. An 83-yard scoop and score to secure a playoff win. Doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, it's been really remarkable to watch this team from when they walked off the field in Columbus in another heartbreaking moment against Michigan to their players-only meeting with Ryan Day, where it got incredibly personal and almost therapeutic. To just say, I told you, I went to senior tackle 3 days later and saw a lot of emotion and saw this team say, we're putting this behind us and we're going to go do something special for 4 more games. And they've done it with 3. This team's on a mission, and I think it started when they walked off that field. And I think Ryan Day just said it, like, we got tested this time. The first 2 were first-round knockouts. This is a test, a fourth-quarter test. And how fitting is it that Jack Sawyer, the guy that tried to rip the Michigan players down from that flag, it's him who grew up at Pickerington right there in Columbus, came up and made the play. Like you said, you can't script this. And pretty special, man. As a former Buckeye, this is pretty special because of what this team's been through. It's cool.
Yeah, and that's
about the first.
Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott. No, all the splash plays of Jeremiah Smith, all the focus was on the fabulous 19-year-old. He was so factored tonight. This was a complete team performance by the offense, and obviously that stand at the end by the defense.
And I just was going to ask you to expound upon it, Herbie, as we hear. I believe it's Carmen, Ohio. I believe I hear behind. I don't know if you're supposed to pause and sing or what, but you're a guy that grew up there. You wore the uniform. You know what it is. And this guy, he couldn't be a more perfect representation of the passion of Ohio State. And it was him. He was wanting to fight Michigan after what happened. But the best kind of fight you can show is what they've shown since then, and now they've got the opportunity. Ryan Day said after that first win, we got a lot more football left. They do. They got 60 more minutes to be national champions. Are you surprised that they've been able to do this after what happened that day against Michigan?
Only because we called their next game against Tennessee. I mentioned on a personal level, I went to the senior tackle for my son, Zach, and I saw stuff that looked not like they were feeling sorry for themselves and the season was over, but more defiant, more. They got 9 guys on defense. Everybody thinks they bought their roster. They got 9 guys on defense. All these guys, a lot of them played against Georgia in 22 with C.J. Stroud. I mean, these are veteran guys that have put their heart and soul on the line for this team and won some great games, lost some tough games. And I think they all looked at each other as a veteran bunch, which is rare anymore in college football, and said, guys, we're not done yet together. We got a run that we can put together. Let's not let that be the lasting memory. So the fact that we got a chance to be around that before they played Tennessee, when that stadium was 40,000, 30,000, whatever it was, Tennessee fans, that only motivated them more. And just to witness it, I guess I wasn't surprised. How dominating they were against Tennessee and Oregon, that was surprising. But the fact that they're headed to the national championship after what we witnessed before the Tennessee game, I'm not surprised at all.
They're going to collide, Scott, with another team that talks about resilience and toughness. Those are the mantras that Marcus Freeman talks about, and they took their devastating loss early. We saw them beat A&M on the road in the opener. They lose to Northern Illinois. Irish fans were shocked and irate. They bounced back. They showed a lot of grit, and both these teams have had to come through and do it the hard way, win 4 playoff games. Irish has certainly been battle-tested too. They'll be significant underdogs to this Ohio State team in Atlanta. I don't think they care about that.
No, and Scott, real quick, I know you got Dusty there, and I love to see him there with you. I mentioned that to you earlier today.
Yep.
Just a little bit of XO. I think it was great to see Chip Kelly, after all the hype of Jeremiah Smith, Texas decided to take him out. They rolled coverage to him, put a safety over the top. They had to be patient. They had to run the ball. They had to find other receivers. Carnell Tate came out of nowhere and led them in receiving. You had, Trevion Henderson make a play. They had to be patient. It was a totally different style of approach offensively than those first-round knockouts where it was just big play after big play, bombs away. So I think that's a tip of the cap for what they had to do on that side of the ball. And then Jim Knowles and that Ohio State defense just continues to just make big play after big play, not just tonight with the strip sack and the touchdown, but just how fundamentally sound, how aggressive, how downhill, how hard-hitting they were. It's like kind of like Notre Dame. It's a fun defense to watch, and I know Dusty can appreciate that as much as he loves defense. Those two defenses fly around and hit people.
Two pretty good semifinals, Scott.
Yeah, Texas is going to answer. They're on the one. That toss on second down. Look, I'm hardly an OC, and I'm not pretending to be one. But that play gets blown up. You lose 7 yards, and I just wonder what your reaction in real time was to that particular play call.
My reaction, I think Chris and I were kind of getting ahead of how good Ohio State is in the red area, how dominant they've been. The Penn State game stands up in all of our minds, that goal line stand to preserve a victory. As good as Texas is, it's tough to do. I'm not going to ever second guess any coach, especially a guy like Sark who works so hard at that. But I thought you might see the wrinkle of Arch come in that situation with his ability to run, maybe a zone read, maybe get him on the edge. Again, I'm not going to second guess it, but that wide sweep with the Ohio State defense as fast flowing as they are led by Caleb Downs, that was a tough one to go to. They tried to catch him napping, and they didn't get it.
Hindsight's easy, but when you lose 7 yards in a play, it became a long shot for them to get in the end zone. The next pass deflected the line, and then Ewers, I guess he just never saw his old roommate coming at him there because it was right in his face, and he didn't react.
And you know who deflected that third down pass was Jack Sawyer.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, Jack Sawyer deflects the third down play and then makes the sack in the touchdown on the fourth down play.
All right, you guys have been kind, and I know you got places to go and people to see, and we've all been doing this a long time. I don't want to make you nervous, but Ohio State Notre Dame, fellas, I think a lot of people might watch in a couple of Mondays. I look forward to consuming what you guys put out. It'll be fantastic. Nobody better to do it.
We'll watch it.
Man.
We'll be there watching.
I can't wait. Scotty, you got to come to Atlanta, man. Do your show live down there. I say we talk to Mike McQuaid and get that done.
From your lips to God's ears. Boys, be well, travel safe. Great call tonight. Look forward to watching Monday.